Shadow the new Praetorian. The clip and articles scrutinized today are the intellectual property of the Young Turks and CNN Politics, respectively. Also, we look at some definitions from Merriam-Webster's dictionary. The opinions in this program are that of the Laughing Ogre and are not meant to represent the opinions or ideas of any sane human being. Now sit back and relax and watch out, Sink Uger. Here comes the Laughing Ogre! Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to my little corner of the world. Thank you, Real Me, for that introduction. That was so wonderful. You have an excellent announcer's voice, if I must say so myself. Well, this is probably going to be what it is. I was watching The Hard Bastard last night, as I often do, listening to him and watching what he is going through. And he made some really good points about the Young Turks just lying right to you, that they would read something to you and then turn around and lie to you. Well, I'm going to show you that it doesn't just come from that source. It comes at you from all angles. We are going to jump into this feat first, and we're going to start by looking at this guy. And I think it's incredible that he put up a picture to make Donald Trump look bad, obviously. But in my mind, it kind of backfired on him. Because look at the face he's pulling. It looks like he's in a gurning contest. Shanky Chank Uger does. So look, let him start talking, and we're gonna just dissect this. And I've got to put up another definition today because these morons don't understand words.
Well, since Donald Trump has gone over the top and said he would ban all Muslims from the country, including Muslim Americans who went abroad and wanted to come back.
Not ban.
Tourists, even possibly Muslim American veterans, people have...
Ban is something made up by the mainstream media, the legacy media, the bull dunk media, whatever you want to call them, the dinosaur media, the fading and dying dead media owned by two corporations. You fools, wake up!
Logically call them out on it, including the Philadelphia Daily News. Let's take a look at their cover there. They got him putting his right hand up. He's nice and sweaty. And they say, the new Fuhrer. So, most clearly calling him a fascist.
Well, right away we got to do something, don't we? Because the Young Turks are very disingenuous, and what they're going to do is they're going to try to just slip this by you. So we're going to go right to Merriam-Webster's dictionary. We're going to take a really good look at what they say the definition for fascism is. It says, often capitalized, a political philosophy, movement, or regime as that of the fascist that exalts nation and often race above the individual, and that stands for centralized autocratic government headed by a dictatorial leader. If he was a dictator, there would be no courts standing in his way of doing this extreme vetting. Muslim ban is something made up by these morons. A dictatorial leader, severe economic and social regimentation. He is unleashing the economy, unleashing society, quelling social justice. It's the opposite of this. And forcible suppression of opposition. If that was true, as I said in another video, there would have been no protest at Berkeley. They would have gunned them down. Tiananmen Square, anyone? Crystal Knot, anyone? The Night of the Long Knives, anyone? You gotta be kidding me. This is the furthest thing. So let's do something real quick before I move on. Autocratic. Definition of autocratic. Of, relating to, or being an autocracy, an autocratic government, characteristics of or resembling an autocrat. Well, we got to look at autocracy. Autocracy, the authority of rule of an autocrat. You see how this is around in circles? Government in which one person, now we're getting to it, possesses ultimate power. if you go through the definitions they're giving you, I encourage you to. I love words. I'll tell you right now, I am a wordsmith. I don't say that humbly. I say that because I have dedicated years of my life delving into language. You know, I know I don't have a communications degree, but I did get very good grades in some classes that you wouldn't believe. So I'm going to move on. I can't spell cat in the hat, came back, but I can use those words, and thank goodness for autocorrect or, you know, spell checker. When you see my mistakes too, constant viewers, the ones of you that actually like me and aren't just here to troll, put them in the thing so that I can learn how to spell like you do. It'll never happen. So let me go on. Definitions are important. Words are important. He calls him a fascist. A fascist is somebody that has a dictatorial leader, a severe economical and social regimentation, and forcible suppression of opposition, doesn't happen. The rioters are out there tearing down Starbucks, pulling down barriers. The cops are sitting there watching it happen. And look what they did to Clive and Bundy. Look what they did to these people. If they didn't like what they did, they would shoot them down in the street. This is crazy. This is being allowed to happen. We need to ask ourselves, friends, countrymen, Americans, do we want this to happen? Oh, my goodness. All right, I want to continue in delving into these words, the meanings of these words, but for now, I'm just going to go back.
So how does he respond to that? Well, he's going to go on Stephanopoulos. Stephanopoulos is going to ask him about this. Let's see how it goes.
Are we talking the final solution to the Muslim question? I feel like I'm back in the 30s. You're increasingly being compared to Hitler. Does that give you any pause at all?
No, because what I'm doing is no different than what FDR's solution for Germans, Italians, Japanese, you know, many years ago.
So you're for internment camps?
This is a president who was highly respected by all. He did the same thing. If you look at what he was doing, it was far worse. I mean, he was talking about the Germans because we're at war. We are now at war. We have a president that doesn't want to say that, but we are now at war.
I've got to press you on that, sir. So you're praising FDR there. I take it you're praising the setting up of internment camps for Japanese during World War. We're talking the final solution to the Muslim question. I feel like I'm back in the 30s. You're increasingly being compared to Hitler. Does that give you any pause at all?
I would like everybody to remember the date on this. See if I'm in the way. I'm going to get out of the way here, and so that you can take a look and see that this was published December 8th, 2015. So this is nothing new for them with Trump. They, you know, before he was even anything but threw his hat in the ring, these people were on his trail, on him. Just they're calling him Hitler already. You know, it's ridiculous.
No, because what I'm doing is no different than what FDR's solution for Germans, Italians, Japanese, you know, many years ago.
So you're for internment camps?
Don't put that in his mouth, Snuffleupagus.
He was highly respected by all. He did the same thing. If you look at what he was doing, it was far worse. I mean, he was talking about the Germans because we're at war. We are now at war. We have a president that doesn't want to say that.
You got to be kidding me.
We are now at war.
I've got to press you on that, sir. So you're praising
we are
FDR
at war.
there. I take it you're praising the setting up of internment camps for Japanese during World War II?
I'm not. No, I'm
He didn't
not.
say that either.
Take a look at presidential proclamations 25, 25, 25, 26, and 25, 27.
25, 25, 25, 26, and 25, 27. You know what? I'll look that up and I'll tag it on to the end. Because I don't want this to go for 2 hours, but I want y'all to see this.
To do with alien Germans, alien Italians, alien Japanese. I mean, what they did. You know, they stripped them of their naturalization proceedings. They went through a whole list of things. They couldn't go.
See, he's not trying to say the internment camps. He's pointing out, and remember, please, we're going to go right into this, so I don't want to belabor it now. This is not a ban. He called for extreme vetting. He was voted into office by folks, you know, like my wife. And me, I don't know how I feel about this, to be honest. I feel that extreme vetting, because I don't think it's enough. I think that right now, if you're not an active member of the military, You're not somebody with an already vetted visa that we know about. If you're coming into this country to visit, you got to wait 90 days. You have to plan 90 days out. Is that so much to ask? I mean, they're acting like we're evil for this. Well, you know, try to go to North Korea. I guess is trying to open it up and make weed legal there. It's fine with me. I'm all for weed legal. I'm all for no prohibition on any drugs, but try to get into the country and then notice that if you ever leave your room that's probably bugged, it is bugged and wired for sound and video. Anywhere you go, shower, bathroom included, everything. If you leave that room, you will have a minder with you that will make sure that you take no pictures of the dear leader, that you don't go where you're not supposed to go, and that you don't see what you're not supposed to see.
5 miles from their homes, they weren't allowed to use radios, flashlights. I mean, you know, take a look at what FDR did many years ago, and he's one of the most highly respected presidents respected by most people. They named highways after him.
You want to bring back policies like that?
No, I don't want to bring it back, George, at all. I don't like doing it at all. It's a temporary measure until our representatives, many of whom are grossly incompetent.
To me, this shows the best thing about Trump. One of his best characteristics is that he doesn't have a problem adjusting his stances and changing his mind. The last I heard, you know, he was for torture, and then he said if anybody can make a good case, and Mattis came in and said, you are crazy if you think torture. You don't torture them, you give them a cigarette and tea if they're Muslim. If there's somebody that's a Western person, you give them a shot of whiskey, a cigarette, and doggone a steak or a piece of pork chop. And that's how you work with them, and you treat them well, and they'll tell you what you want to know because they're expecting to be tortured. We don't torture.
Until our representatives can figure out.
And also, the point, I don't want to glaze over it. He is able to change his mind when something else makes more sense.
What's going on?
Classic Trump at the end. I don't want to do it, but I just had to. I had to do these heinous things. You know that FDR was not praised because of the things that you're talking about that were against Italians, Germans, and Japanese Americans here in the U.S. That was a black mark against him and against the whole country. He was praised for the other great things that he did, despite the fact that he did those horrible things. And you asked for people to look up what those proclamations were. We did. It meant that Italians, Germans, or Japanese, even if they were U.S. citizens in time of World War II, could be apprehended, restrained, secured, and removed at any time. We don't look back at that like, oh, the good old days. We look back at that like, oh my God, what did we stoop to? We should have never done that. And of course, interestingly enough, the Germans and Italians didn't get internment camps, but the Japanese did. So when asked about internment camps there, he gave kind of a vague answer to Stephanopoulos. I don't want to do it, but I mean, for a time being, what are we going to do, right?
He didn't say, this guy is such a liar. He wasn't even talking about internment camps. He said exactly what he wanted to say. And this is going to go. We're looking into this. So if you want to see it, rewind, look at it again.
Zim asked him about it, and he said, I would had to be there at the time to tell you, to give you a proper answer, saying at the time in World War II. I certainly hate the concept of it, but I would have had to be there at the time to give you a proper answer. In other words, kind of open to it. Internment camps, they're back.
You're a maniac. You're such a fool. You're a Muslim apologist and an Armenian genocide denier. Oh, man, you are a fool. How much longer? Can I get a vote out there? Show of hands. Should I let Sink Yeager go on any further, or should we delve deeper into this? Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? 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 Okay, he's done. All right, so we're going to move along here. Let's go to a real piece of work. This is obviously CNN politics, kind of, oxymoron. I should just say CNN propaganda, propaganda wing of the propaganda arm of the left wing. That's what it should say. And to be fair, then Fox, it should say propaganda arm of the right wing. But this is full text of Trump's executive order on 7-nation ban. This is where we're going to get to the lying to you, right where they give you the correct information. Full text of Trump's executive order on 7-nation ban, and then it says refugee suspension. These aren't refugees. If you haven't seen the Polish truck driver that, I mean, he was showing the knife. These people tried to do something, man. He got out and did something, and then swerved his truck, and then the company had to fire him, but hired him right back. It was a big joke. And then he showed the knife that he put on the end of a long pole, because they get on top and cut the tarps when they're trying to cross the border. And anyway, you look into this stuff, and the Muslim heat, man, I'm going to leave a link to that, okay? I want you all to watch that. I want you to watch some Russian truck drivers beat the crap out of these scumbags that went to Russia and thought they were going to stop truck drivers and extort them, these Muslims. They beat the crap out of them, and then they turned their car over. The links will be down in the description. That's how you handle these people. Call me intolerant. I'm talking about people that are doing terrible things. Sharia law, cutting the clitorises off of young girls. Man, it goes on and on. These people are freaks. And as far as Jews go, don't be cutting anything off of young boys either, you daggone weirdos, man. We don't live in the desert anymore with a little small amount of water to be able to use to clean. We can clean ourselves. Don't cut people stuff off before they're even... Here we go. Calma. Tranquilo. Cógelo suave, amigo. Cógelo suave. All right, here we go. CNN. President Donald Trump on Friday banned nations of 7 Muslim majority countries from entering the United States for at least the next 90 days. Now, when you think of ban, what do you think of? Don't you think of they're gone? They cannot come in here, no matter what they do, no matter what they want. They cannot come in here. You are banned. You are barred from the bar. You're banned from coming into the store. You're banned from riding the bus. You're banned. You're banned. It means you can't go in. This is 90-day extreme vetting. This is exactly what Donald Trump promised me and a bunch of other Americans that voted for him in a tremendous, stupendous landslide. Look at the map. Don't give me that popular vote stuff. And that was with all of you don't believe there was cheating going on the left. Watch, please, go see Fovel and all them morons and see that Project Veritas just tore them up and told about their bird dogging. And man, they told on themselves. The order bars all people hailing from Iraq, Syria, Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, and Yemen. Those countries were named in a 2006 law concerning immigration visas as countries of concern. Let me think, 2016, I'm not too good with it. That wasn't Trump. Give me a break. Where was all the outrage when it was Obama? If anybody would have said anything about him banning someone, they would have called him a racist. You know, he was a pig scumbag that signed more executive orders to drone strike than the last year than President Bush did in his last 4. He's a horrible, murdering piece of garbage, I believe, pedophile, deviant. And Michelle, I don't know. Look at what some old comedian said about her. Him, whoever. I don't believe that, really. You want to know the truth, but just like Alex Jones said on the Joe Rogan show when asked if Megyn Kelly was good looking, and he was like, "No, she ain't good looking. She looks like an ugly old tranny." And Rogan's like, "What? What? You really think she looks like a tranny? I think she's hot." And he was like, "Well, you know, maybe she is, but I don't want to say nothing nice about her because she's a globalist." He just got done taking a big old toke off a doobie with Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan is like little Willie Nelson, man. You know, I never smoke weed with Willie again. All right, I'm getting off topic. I hope that was a little comedic break, though. You know, you can't. This stuff it's heavy. And why are they attacking this guy? We're supposed to rally behind our president, even if we didn't vote for him. I rallied behind Obama the whole way. Well, not the whole way. I mean, with some of this crazy stuff I didn't, but I always was respectful of his presidency. I had never made any jokes like that about him until he's out of office. Now he's fair game. The executive order also bans the entry of those fleeing from war-torn Syria indefinitely. They're not because they can see. Let's look here. Trump also stopped the admission of all refugees to the United States for 4 months. The order also calls for a review into suspending the visa interview waiver program, which allows travel from 38 countries, including close allies, to renew travel authorizations without an in-person interview. Terrible times we live in. At least you don't have internment camps set up and putting suckers up in there. Because I don't think that's cool either, man. I ain't in their FEMA camps anyway, folks. That's not for Muslims. Those probably would be put in use in the next couple months if it wasn't for Trump being in there. Now there won't be Americans in the fun camps. Remember when Hillary was talking about that? She was talking about FEMA camps, folks. Look into it. So from 38 countries, and then this is just a long thing, going on to explain it. But what I will say, let's see if I can go back. It should go right back to another one. Yeah, let's read this. This is also from CNN. So remember, in that article, they called it a ban and then said that it's not a ban, that it's extreme vetting, that they ban them from entering for up 3 to 4 months, depending upon where you're from. That's not a ban. It's just a waiting period so they have time to vet you. Oh, sorry about that. Sometimes you pop this stuff up, and something automatically just starts playing that you don't really care about. So in December 2015, President Obama signed into law a measure placing limited restrictions on, and then it's about Obama, so they got to be real nice, limited restrictions on certain travelers who had visited Iran, Iraq, Sudan, or Syria on or after March 1st, 2011. 2 months later, the Obama administration added Libya, Somalia, and Yemen, sound familiar, to the list, in what it called an effort to address the growing threat from foreign terrorist fighters. This isn't Trump's idea. This is something that everyone can agree on. This is something that we can all agree on. This is... There's an agenda out there, folks. The restrictions specifically limited what is known as visa waiver travel by those who had visited one of the 7 countries within the specified time period. People who previously could have entered the United States without a visa were instead required to apply for one if they had traveled to one of these 7 countries. Well, daggone the racist, Islamophobic piece of garbage, Obama. Why would you do that to these poor innocent people? Maybe somebody's mother died or whatever. I hope everybody knows I'm joking. Under the law, dual citizens of waiver. This goes on and on. I'll have a link in the description. But it did say that somewhere in here that the information community, the intelligence community, highly recommended this. They never bring that up when it would back Trump up. The only thing they're going to say is, well, it's Trump, so he's absolutely wrong. There's no way that he could be right. There's no way that he could look at these people. Man, I just want to put them up. This is who we're up against, folks. This is it. This is who we're up against. This is who is being unleashed on us. Some big brown buffalo with a doggone nasty little chihuahua in front. And I'm glad that we got Keck looking over. And can you imagine? All Trump wants to do is make America great again. And he's running into some of the most terrific opposition to anything that I've ever seen in my life. I'm going to wrap this up, put a bow on it. I don't want it to go for an hour and a half. We all have things to do. But I hope that what I've done once again is sparked a little bit of thought, got you to consider that this isn't a ban, it's extreme vetting. For those of us that followed Trump while he was running for president and while he was running for Republican nominee to run for president, this is nothing new. We knew this was going to happen because Trump is all id. It's not so much that he even wants to keep his promises. He has to, because if he doesn't, then he's failed at something. And the guy is incapable of admitting failure. You heard him say that he doesn't ask God for forgiveness because he feels like he doesn't do anything wrong. But it's fine. It's between him and God. Listen, there's Muslims that it's between him and God. What Muslims do is between them and God, until they take a woman, wrap her in a bedsheet, stick her in a shallow grave, and then start throwing rocks this big and cinder blocks and bricks. And I saw about 4 seconds of that, and I was so ill. It made me ill. It made me want to throw up. I had to turn it off. I couldn't stand. I couldn't watch that anymore. So look, folks, like I always seem to do right now, I don't want to say that I'm a shameless plug, but I just uploaded a new video about this Stephen Gurn. He warns us. He's there, and he has some serious questions. I hope that you take a chance and watch that. Hey, go support Tree of Logic. Most of all, folks, support TheBritisher. Check him out. You know, his channel's really going. Sargon gave him a good kick up. He's got an excellent layout. This latest one that he did right here, Dear Mr. Loki. It's hilarious. It's funny. He loves to poke fun at people, his countrymen included. Well, you know, Scottish, but it's pretty much his countrymen. And I don't think he lives anywhere near Scotland, but I don't really know. I have no idea where he lives. The guy's very mysterious. I won't lie. I talk to TheBritisher on a daily basis, but he ain't telling me boo. And even if he did, I wouldn't tell y'all nothing anyway, so take that how it may be. But that was good. And also, I want to try to find this real quick. There is one that he did on the Muslim, the Jihadi Olympics. We're into it this deep. So in response to, he's got some great ones about waterboarding. The reasons behind Trump and Brexit was excellent. And here it is, the Terrorist Stupidity Olympics. I'm just going to tell you right now, there is some funny stuff in here that will just blow your mind. He's got great pictures. And please try to remember when you're watching this, for those of my friends, American friends that take themselves or whatever sometimes a little more seriously than they should, try to remember that this is satirical in nature. But it's also underlining a point. He makes some very good points that sometimes we can give a little bit too much respect. It was Samuel Clemens that said, Mark Twain, for those of you that don't know, that said, it would be blasphemy to pay the devil homage, but one can't help but respect him for his work ethic. So he's not going to pay homage. You know, he talks about a little bit about it, but he'll give you the lowdown on it. One more little thing here before I go back and plug myself. Check out the Hard Bastard. Man, he's got a hard-hitting lineup right here. You could easily go over there and spend a good 2 or 3 hours just catching up on the latest videos that he has, and it would not be a waste of your time in any stretch of the imagination. He's insightful. Just as insightful as TheBritisher, in a completely different way. He has a different sense of humor. He looks at things, you know, a little bit different. So give these boys a try. And of course, last but not least, if you get a chance, come on by my channel. You'll see that I'm small. I picked up a few more subscribers over the weekend and in the last few days, much thanks to TheBritisher, Tree of Logic, you know, especially the Hard Bastard and that aspect. Well, I don't know. TheBritisher and the Hard Bastard probably neck and neck. And a big shout out to the conscious Caracal. If you're on Twitter and you can go there, look for the conscious Caracal, look for me, JT, the Laughing Ogre. In fact, it's like the Ogre 710 at Twitter. And when you find me, you'll see, and the people that I follow and are following me, the conscious Caracal is there. So look, go on, check out my channel. Click on the videos right here, and you're going to see that I got quite a few videos up right now. I think it says somewhere on here. It's a little over 80. And, you know, I'm going to keep putting them out for y'all. Any suggestions are welcome. Trolls are welcome. Spam's welcome. I get some of that. I approve everything. I'm not going to unapprove anything. Now, if you make smart comments about Milo and his preferences, you know, and sexual preferences, I'm probably going to say something smart to you. I'm probably going to say a smart aleck remark to you right then. But you know what? Hey, listen, all we're trying to do is make America great again in the end. It's not for Trump's glory. It's not for my glory for sure. It's for the glory of the American people. And now it seems like the world's getting on board. That said, one more little thing. Now that I said that, I must say please go and watch this, the canary in the coal mine, what Copeland and Stoke may tell us. So go watch that, because there is danger in this thing that's happening, possibly. But this is another point of view I may or may not agree with, but it's another very well done video from TheBritisher. Now, just to balance things out and keep it even, I do want to mention that this today was heavily influenced by, where is it at now, hard bastard? Heavily influenced by a video that he did, that the hard bastard did, that was talking about them just lying to you, that they would tell you a lie and then turn around and say that it's true, just completely news speak and double think at its finest. Listen, Hegelian dialectic, problem, reaction, solution, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. Look into it. See why they're doing this to us. What is the point? Why are they trying to make humanity slaves by any means necessary? I could have probably went another hour on this, but we all have lives and things to do. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm going to cut the front down a little bit. In fact, I'll probably just pop another little 5-minute video just for you, Conscious Caracal. Oh, and if you get a chance, let me pop this up real fast, because I want you to see one more thing. I got you here this far. I might as well take you a little bit further. This is, it's called TYT Sucks. You can find it on Reddit. The Conscious Caracal is the mediator, moderator, creator, whatever you call it. He's got a couple videos for me up there, but he's got a lot of other good videos about the Young Turks and comments about them and all kinds of neat stuff. You go on there, boost his karma up, man. Give him some thumbs up. He's got a spectacular score right now, because he really is a spectacular person. All right, that said, folks. Oh, you know what? I wasn't even showing you that. So here it is right here. This is the... I'm telling you, I'm the engineer and everything else, and after, I don't know, 20 minutes or so talking, I get a little tired, and I'm trying to stay focused and mentally acute and sharp here. I don't always catch everything. So this is his page here, Conscious Caracal, TYT Sucks. Very good, excellent content. Quite a lot of videos on here. Lots of great comments. You'll meet like-minded people if you have a problem with the Turks and their ilk. I'll only say this. I love you, Jimmy Dorn, my Jew brother. Love you, brother. Hey, man, Jimmy, you used to be funny, man. Why don't you come on for the winning team, dude? Remember, look, get in, pussy. We're making America great again, with or without you. That said, hey, listen, folks. Be good to your friends. Be good to your family. Be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology from that friend, family member, or loved one, especially when what they've done seems so big that you'll never be able to forget it. Because constant viewers in a time that you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, and your cause will depart from you. Hey, listen, don't forget to sub. I need all the help I can get. Don't forget to sub to the people I mentioned. Be good to those that you love, man. They really will leave when you least expect it. Look at that. Right in that little noddle. Hey, Mr. Rough Diamond. I think I see a woman that is trying to stuff a size 19 body in a size 13 bikini, buddy. You want you turn at the knot hole or not, man? Come on, let me brother know about it. Move, bitch. Get out the way.